Good morning and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, December the 18th, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create two primary, two alternative hypos. We do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we create a plan based on what the normal auction would be like, based on who's in control and whether or not we're getting expansion or not. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to. And I forgot to open up the disclaimer. Just do that. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. So Friday, our main hypothesis was a open auction in range and a push down in the open, and then finding buyers and rotating us up through the 2671, pushing into new all-time highs, and then rotating back and closing at 71. Our hypo 2 was open auction in range, a false breakout, put in new all-time highs, and then chop around and closing around 71. Hypo 3 was a continuation day, and that's exactly what we got. We opened auction. We left the gap yet again. We left the gap alone, pushed up hard. This looked like it was we actually took the short, and we came back, failed to hold inside of the prior day. We only got within 3 ticks inside of the prior day, and they broke that fractal high at 75, went up to 78, and basically just started grinding sideways and higher into new all-time highs, and hitting the 2682.75. Didn't quite get to the weekly upside ATR, which was up at 87.75. I thought at that point in time we might see it, but they came back to the VWAP and then bounced in the close, and actually went in the ETH, the extended trading hours. They went up and put a new high up at the 83s, and then of course opening up on Sunday, we've gone and now traded about 11 points higher than the prior all-time high. So inventory overnight is basically 100% net long. They're accepting value higher. You can see that the VPOC overnight is 2691.75. We're trading 10 points right now above the prior all-time high, RTH high put in, and pushing. We actually just pushed up into the 2693 in the last 20 minutes, and basically holding this 91.75. So let's just take a step back, take a look at the macro to micro. I always like to start my day taking a look at a basic candlestick chart. I use my toss paper money. I like the drawing tools better than IRT. And what I'm looking for is I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. I'm looking good for slope and separation, strength of the trend in each time frame, and where we would be challenging the trend at the 9 or violating the trend at the 20. And I'm also looking for any candlestick or chart patterns. You can see we've been following this monthly upward sloping pitchfork, and we talked about this last week, that we don't even challenge the upside of this pitchfork until we get into the 2700s, and they're now trading just 10 points off. So the Santa Claus rally is very much intact, and we're making new all-time highs. Now we have new unequalized highs at the 93.50 here that is likely to be equalized by the RTH traders when we open. Going to the weekly, you can see that, again, very strong trend. We are getting a bit of a technical gap. You can see how nicely we've been paralleling the 9. This has gone parabolic, and pullback to the weekly takes us back down to the 26, 27, 54. Our month open is at 26, 40, 75, and we're trading 40 points, 40 plus points above that right now, and coming into the last week before Christmas, and then of course we've got the week of Christmas into the New Year's next week. So this is looking very, very strong. No sign of exhaustion yet. Going to the daily, you can see that we had created this technical gap. We came back, tested the 9 from above, and on Friday had the continuation day, and here we are having another continuation day. We're going to be opening, if we open up here, we're going to be opening roughly about 10 points higher. So gap rules are in effect right now, and we don't challenge the trend on the daily till we get back to the 65 level. Going to the intraday, you can see this is a very strong move in the Globex. Price is paralleling the 9 really nicely. We do have a naked cross down here. We got a bunch of naked crosses below us because this trend is being so strong, and you just have to pay attention to where they are and where they get violated and what time frame that they're operating on. But we don't even challenge the trend until we get down to the 81 area and get inside of the Friday range. Going to the 30-minute, you see very, very nice trend. This is paralleling the 9 very nicely, and we haven't even closed below the 9 in the Globex. Actually, we haven't even closed below the 9 since that move up in Globex on Friday. So very, very, I'm sorry, we did close right here below it just before the close on Friday. But trend is very much intact. Going to the 5-minute, you can see that we are seeing some opposing force here, but this is not much. This is just consolidation. We really want to watch below the 90 area to see if we likely get a push down back into this consolidation area, which would be down here in the 88, 89 area. Very, very strong. So taking a look at this on the structure. So we we came up, accepted value higher, broke out, went into price discovery, had 4 days of balance here, trying to hold the 71 area. Thursday, they took a trip through this range, and then overnight found buyers, and then Friday we had our continuation day, and now we're trading our RTH all-time high 82.75. Our new Globex all-time high is 93.50. So we've got an unequalized high. Not a lot to guide us, here. I mean, we're 8 points off right now of the 2,700. Do I think we're going to hit 2,700 this week? There's a good probability that we see it. But it would not be outside of the ordinary to come back and test the range high again down here in the prior all-time high at the 2682.75. So in terms of levels, our overnight inventory, as I discussed, is 100% net long in time and volume. Our overnight low is down at the 82.50, one tick below the range high from Friday, and our overnight high currently is at 93.50. I don't know if we're going to put in a new all-time high before the RTH Open. We're only trading, point and a half off of that. Our daily 20 period full session ATR is running at 1980. So off of the low overnight of the 2682.50, our daily upside ATR target takes us into the 2700s and 2702 and a quarter. We have LVNs that we have to pay attention to. We have one at 91. And we have one at 87.75. And of course, we've got the low. If we open up right here at the 91.75, our close from Friday was 82, so 91.75 plus 82. So our half gap fill is going to be 86.75. And our overnight VPOC is not likely going to shift. It is 91.75. And we're trading just above it. Other levels that we have to pay attention to, of course, the 2700. And the range high. Value doesn't mean anything because it was a trend day, 79 and a quarter. And then this area down here, which was the prior all-time high, and the range high and an LVN targeting where the VPOC shifted into the close. Currently off of the all-time high, which is at 93.50. Our downside target is 70. ATR is 73. Oops. 73.75. This is not an all-time high. All right, so what are our hypotheses? Well, they don't change much. I'm looking for an open auction outside of range, outside of value, responsive selling down towards the half gap, possibly down to the overnight low and the range high, but somewhere in the 86, 87 area down to the 79 area. I'm looking for buyers to step back in and continue up and equalize the all-time high. I'm just going to mark this. And push into the 2700. That is Hypo 1. Hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a push up, equalize the all-time high, fail to get into the 2700, and then rotate back down towards the 82 and basically go sideways today. Fighting the high with a late day probe to come down and take out this naked VPOC. But again, just basically failing to get into the 2700s yet, and coming down and testing the range and fighting this range high from Friday. Hypo 3, which has got equal weight to 1 and 2, is a gap and go day, an open auction failed to close the gap and then push up into the 2700s and test into the 2700s and then come back and close somewhere in the low 90s. So just basically a gap and go, but stalling, into the 2700s. And then hypo 4 is a failure to take out the 2700, a push down into the prior day range, come down in the 77, chop here, and then push down to test the where the VPOC was most of the day, and coming down towards the 67, but closing somewhere around the 71, and basically taking some of it back and shaking out the weak hands. We do have a zipper measured move right now that is in play, and that stays in play until we get into the 88 and a quarter, and the target on that is the 95 area, and the extended takes us up into the 97.50. There's your impulse wave, and then your zipper and your continuation. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of zipper measured moves that show up in the Globex and continue into the RTH because of the fact that the players are changing, and a lot of times that will change the context. There was a other zipper measured move here. I just didn't measure it yet, so I'm just going to put it in here just to see. And basically, it's giving us a similar target up here at the 95. So these two zipper measured moves are still in play, even though they're not my favorite types. All right, so that's the ES. Taking a look at the at gold. In gold, you can see that we came down, we tested that 38 level, the LVN, and held, and you can see that we're working our way up off of a $54 move down. And if you look at the VPOC, as we came down here, value was being accepted in the 49s, and then it starts to shift up. So you can see that on Friday it shifted up here in the 57 area, and we pushed through into the 62. Primary target above right now is at 67.40. Watch if we hold this value that they're accepting higher in the 57, 58 area, expecting a move up into the 67. If we break below the 54, then I'd be looking for a trip through value and a move down to test that 48 level again. And we need to hold that level if we're going to see the move up into the 1280-40 composite VPOC that runs all the way back to 2008. So levels to watch. We have to hold the 57. We're likely just to chop in this area for a bit, but if we can get above the microcomposite value area at 61, look for them to take out, put a new daily high in, and push up into the 67. We don't hold the 57s, look for a push down into the 54, and anything below 54, a trip back to the 49, and see if we need to pick up late buyers and get the continuation. If that doesn't hold, then we're in trouble again, and we're likely not to see this 38 hold and a push down into the 28 area. That's going to complete our pre-market session. I'm not going to do the Russell today because I'm really not feeling well today, so I'm going to be somewhat scarce. You heard me over the last few days hacking and coughing, and it's got continuation. I'm actually glad I wasn't hacking and coughing during this pre-market session. Anyway, as always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.